time they question him on his flip-flopping, whether it's the voting cloture on TPA and flip-flopping on the increasing the H-1B visas by 500%, saying it's a poison pill, it's not a poison pill, and then hearing him on the defense, it's almost like reading the small print of a cell phone contract. It is so convoluted, so confusing, and this is what I hate about the politicians up there. They're all attorneys. They have these attorneys speak, and it irritates me to no end. So you brought up a good point.
There's always an out in his speech.
Yeah.
If you really listen to Ted Cruz, there's an out all the time.
Right. Wow.
Like the wall and his immigration policies and all that. Mm-hmm. He never cuts to the chase, like you say.
Right. Well, I want to thank you for calling to my show, and I want you to be a full-fledged guest next time. So I want you to email me at newmediapatriot@gmail.com. Send me your send me your information, and I want to have you on my show, maybe along with your pal there, Pamela Geller. How's that?
Oh, absolutely. I'll get Pamela for your show for herself.
I'm gonna hold you to it, brother. Thank you for calling the show.
You got it, guys.
Take care.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye. That was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I'm a fan. I like that guy.
So, what he said.
I interrupted him, but I like him.
No, you did, and that's okay. That's okay, because that's what this is about. It's a round table, and we can't see each other's hands through the radio, so you're gonna have to interrupt from time to time. So, what did you think about what he had to say about Ted Cruz and about having an out every time that they put him on the defense with some of his flip-flopping policies on whether it's immigration or the TPA, which is opening the door to TPP, which is basically a backdoor way to get an increase of H-1B visas, foreign workers here. And it seems like all these, trade policies benefit everybody else but the United States. Mm-hmm. So, tell us, what'd you think about that, Kambree? What'd you think about, not Kambree, I mean, Cristina, because I know what Kambree thought. She interrupted him. What did you have to think? What'd you think about what he had to say, Cristina?
Right. Well, like you're saying, he sounds like a trained lawyer or a trained politician where he obfuscates and never really owns up to what he says. It's always what's popular or what, I don't know. He does like a poll. He's polling people to see what he should be saying. And we want to know exactly where he stands. We have video footage of him saying he wants to increase the H-1B visa. So, and then he turns around and denies it.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? The number here is 347-338-1775. Call us before we end the show. We have a couple of minutes left. If you want to call and ask a question to our guests, call us now. It's 347-338-1775. Speaking of people that are speaking their mind, here's a tweet from Donald Trump. Alicia just showed it to me from 9/28/14. It says, "Every time I speak of haters and losers, I do so with great love and affection." This is Donald Trump now in 2014. He says, "They cannot help the fact that they were born fucked up." That's a tweet from 2014. It's on Twitter. Alicia just showed it. What's that?
I actually retweeted that.
You retweeted it?
No. But that's his real Twitter.
That's pretty amazing. But that speaks volume to who this guy is. They don't know what to do with him. He is not PC, and I think that's why he's resonating with everybody.
He's not PC, but here's the deal. We are all not voting based upon if you're a conservative or if you're a liberal. We're voting on the issues this year. It is what's going on in the country, and that is why. I mean, I can say, is he as conservative as my family in Texas? No. Is he as liberal as people here in California? Probably not. I can say that. But we're running a campaign based on the issues and based on the Constitution. Trump, this is the motto. This is what everybody says in campaigns. Let Trump be Trump. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that is what we have to get back to. And that, if you want to, that's exactly what I'd say. That is Trump. That's Donald J. Trump to a T. Let Trump be Trump.
Right. And I mentioned this in a previous show. I said, this is not about who's conservative, who's liberal, who's left, who's right, who's this, who's that. This is about nationalism versus globalism. And you know what globalism leads to? It leads to giving up our sovereignty. So if you can't understand that, and again, Ted Cruz, I like him. But again, he speaks like an attorney, and he's been the proceedings in Congress gives way where people can hide behind votes and this and that and cloture and all this nonsense. And then, you dig in, the more down the rabbit hole you go, you see that they're basically funded by the same donor class. I mean, Club for Growth, these are open border donors. So when you see Ted Cruz pulling stunts like that, it makes it seem like he's trying to play both sides of the aisle. He's trying to appease the voter base and he's trying to appease his donor base. So that's why he didn't want it in the Gang of Eight bill. He didn't want to give citizenship because he could care less. The donors don't want citizenship. They want workers. That's why he increased it to 500% in the Gang of Eight. 500% because he was going to satisfy the donor class. And to say that he stopped the Gang of Eight is nonsense. He didn't stop it. It passed the Senate. It went to the House. Okay. And you know what stopped it? The defeat of Eric Cantor by Mr. Bratt. That's what stopped it. And if you want to see the full documentary, all you have to do is just Google it, the immigration documentary, and it will explain everything to you there. So let's stop this. Let's stop this notion that Ted Cruz has stood up for us. He stopped he stopped the Gang of Eight. He didn't stop it. He didn't stop it. The people that elected Bratt stopped it. The people that fought to elect him and beat Eric Cantor stopped it, because what happened was you had everybody in Congress running with their tails between their legs because Bratt ran on that platform. He said, I'm going to stop this. This is crazy. And people didn't want to have it. They saw what was going to be in his Gang of Eight. Didn't want to have it. So what happened was, they had the votes. They had the votes in the House in the last minute. This was hours from passing. And because of Eric Cantor's defeat, that's why the Gang of Eight didn't pass. So please, Ted Cruz supporters, I love him. I will vote for him. Let's stop this notion that he stopped the Gang of Eight. He didn't stop it. Cristina?
Right, and it doesn't matter what he says, because at the end of the day, we know with these politicians who wins is the donors, the special interests, the lobbyists. They can tell us until they're blue in the face that they're for the American people and for the Constitution, but they're not. They're for the people who are.
Listen, have you seen it?
Them.
Yeah, have you seen anything like it? These politicians, they make what is it, $175,000 a year? They come out millionaires. Oh yeah, we're. Go ahead, Kambree.
Like that lady who called out Harry Reid.
Yeah. Kambree, what do you have to say about that?
You remember that lady? Oh, sorry.
Kambree.
Yeah, I think they're in it for themselves. I mean, it's like, Cristina and I were talking earlier before we went live on air. These guys, they don't care who wins the nomination. They don't care if it's a Republican or if it is a Democrat. All they care is about themselves, that their agenda is fulfilled, and that their pockets are stuffed with money. That is all they care about, no matter who gets into office, as long as they're taken care of. So they're trying to fool the American people to think that our votes are what to decide, and it's America's decision. It's not America's decision. Clearly, they want themselves to be taken care of, and they will fight tooth and nail, blood, sweat, tears. They'll do whatever they have to do to make that happen.
In the last 2 minutes, I forgot to mention this, and Diane brought it up on Twitter. She says, what does she call him? The Cubanadian, I guess because he's Cuban and Canadian, wants to be president of the North American Union. This shows why Vicente Fox is so upset. Here you have Vicente Fox, the biggest drug pusher in Mexico. And by the way, Mexico has more stringent immigration laws than we do. But anyway,
right?
They don't have what's it called, due process over there. You just get kicked out. You get put on a bus. You get sent back across the border where you came from. But she brings up a good point. I mean, here you have China, the Pope, Mexico. You have all these world leaders that are against Donald Trump. They're against Donald Trump for one reason and one reason only. He will stop this globalistic movement. Period. Period. What do you have to say about that, Kambree?
So he'll stop the globalistic movement. He'll walk his little hind end into the White House, and he'll uncover everything that they're trying to cover up.
Well, anyway, listen. The show is coming to an end here. I want you ladies to take this time now and let everybody know where they can find you. I know, Kambree, you are involved with the vets. Tell us about that very quickly here before we end the show.
Yeah, we have Veterans TV that's based out of Houston, Texas, and basically it's from the Getty Group, which has multiple arms. And so what we have is we're putting up holistic hospitals for vets and soldiers, any type of anyone that's in the military for PTSD. We're going to treat them holistically. Another arm is Veterans Television. We're going to be doing documentaries on veterans. We're going to be writing legislators already being written, especially for Agent Orange. We're going to be exposing a lot, and we're going to be demanding a lot from Washington, D.C., so I'm excited to be a part of Veterans Television.
Awesome. And again,
but I'm on Twitter at yeah.
Go ahead, Kambree. Go ahead, Cam.
So I'm on Twitter because I know at Cam, KAMVTV, as in Veterans TV.
Awesome. And Cristina, Laila, please give out your Twitter account.
Great. You can find me on Twitter at Cristina Laila, and Cristina does not have an H, and Laila is spelled Laila and the number 1. So Cristina Laila 1.
Awesome. Well, let's see what Super Tuesday is going to bring here. It should be exciting. I'm going to go off the air, and tomorrow I'm going to have a special post Super Tuesday show. So stay tuned for that. Again, I want to thank everybody for listening to New Media Patriot Radio here, the silent majority, where everybody comes here to voice their opinions. And again, if you want to be a guest on the show, you can email us at newmediapatriot@gmail.com. And in the words of Ronald Reagan, it's time for choosing. So long, everybody.
Hey everyone, what's up? This is the News Ninja, Wayne Dupree. Well, Donald Trump has emerged from the Nevada caucus's still heavyweight champion of the primaries. And now the so-called establishment experts are telling lesser candidates to get out of the race so that their guy can move ahead. There's only one problem with that. Their guys have no resonating message for Americans, or they would have gotten better numbers no matter who was in the race. Sorry, folks, but that's just common sense. And by the way, it's not going to work, and I'll tell you why. Let's go back over the last 7 months. Candidates decided to go after Donald Trump when he joined the race with personal attacks, which he responded with harder return fire. Now, many of you might not want to hear this, but that's how politics is played. People go back and forth, back and forth. The only problem with this is that the candidates attacking Trump didn't learn anything. Instead of learning what Trump did to gain the hearts and minds of dissatisfied Americans, yes, I'm talking about dissatisfied Americans unhappy with the D.C. politician and the career thieves who have ran up the national debt, presided over 94 million Americans being unemployed, and 56 million people on food stamps. These candidates decided the easiest thing to do was to go after Trump and then act like victims when he brought the pain. Trump developed the template, the blueprint on how to deal with the political establishment, the mainstream media, and these so-called pundit experts who have been using the same messages for the last 7 years. And their response? Negative personal attacks instead of adapting and changing their own message. Let me go even a little bit further. You rarely ever see these same, quote, experts on TV who are trying to give you opinion, walking into minority neighborhoods, sitting down with impoverished Americans or hurting Americans, and giving solutions or even showing that they care. The bottom line is America has changed from 2008, and the playbook you are watching on TV and listening to conservative radio, they have failed to catch up. This is going to hurt in what I'm getting ready to say, but nobody on the ground in America cares about your labels anymore. They want jobs. They want to feel good about their country again. They want to feel good about their military again. They want to reverse America's or Obama's fundamental transformation and set this nation on the right path. They could care less what you call yourself. I know that might hurt for some of you, but that's where America is, and you can see it from state to state. Hopefully your candidate sees the light and starts speaking to the American people instead of foaming at the mouth about Trump's negatives. Actually, it only helps my candidate in the long run. Hey, thanks for listening. This has been the News Ninja Wayne Dupree. You can follow me on Twitter at Wayne Dupree Show or Facebook under News Ninja 2012. Check out my radio show Wednesday through Friday